We dated 5 days, got engaged, married 7 weeks later, 16 years and 4 kids later, we're basically still on our honeymoon, just with more laundry and fewer naps.
Welcome to the Marriage Made in Heaven, where love is real, grace is necessary, and your spouse definitely heard you. They're just ignoring you.
Every week, we serve up biblical truth, awkward confessions, and the kind of marriage advice that probably breaks some rules.
So whether you're single, married, or Googling how to survive your spouse, you're in the right place. Buckle up and let's get this party started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Marriage Made in Heaven podcast. So glad to have you here with us, tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the major topics that comes up as a big stressor in marriage, and that is finances.
Woo-hoo!
What do you have to say about finances, sweetheart?
Well, let's just say this comes up all the time. So we'll do like anonymous index cards, have people just fill out what their things are. I think I shared this before. And finances for sure will come up with multiple couples.
There'll be finances, financial pressure.
Yep. Talking about the money, talking about the things. And first of all, like we want to be very sympathetic to situations of people like today. Honestly, right now, I just did an Instagram story on, we lost a multi-million-dollar business today, a year ago, with zero heads up. And I can't say that we were great financial planners to even see this coming. We have 4 kids. We live in Southern California. All 4 kids go to private school. My husband's a teacher, and that was our main source of income. So we want to be super sympathetic towards people that, you know, this is a huge stressor. And maybe even you tuned in today and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to hear about this, you know, because it is such a pain point. But our prayer in this podcast is just to be really real and raw. That's who we are. But also to give you tools and strategies of what we specifically did when finances were, and could still be, right? We're still living.
Still living and learning.
We're still alive.
But I want to let you know, you are not alone. I woke up this morning actually on Yahoo Finance. It said that it is a 4-year high of the amount of people that are living paycheck to paycheck. And their statistic was 69% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So that means a substantial portion of couples have a serious financial pressure and issue. So we're going to talk about ways and strategies that you can have a plan. The first question I would ask is, do you have a financial plan? Are you considering financial planning? And what resources are you using to establish and learn about great ways of handling money and finances?
Yeah, so our first step was starting with YNAB. So YNAB is you need a budget, and I have an incredible friend, Jody Watkins, who actually was in that business with me, who lost the business. And she and I were talking about what the next step was. And she was like, hey, I want to build out this YNAB. It's been a huge blessing to me and Jonathan. We were able to save up 6 months in advance, you know, so them losing their multiple million-dollar business wasn't a huge stressor because they really had planned ahead. And so, well, I guess the first thing, we started with a fractional CFO, but if you're not there yet, you need to know your numbers. So you go to YNAB, and again, it's free for a month, and that's like $109 for the year, but it's literally making you accountable for every dollar you spend, which is so important. People start and they're like, I had no idea we spend $2,000 eating out, or maybe you do know, or that we spend over $1,000 getting coffee every day, or it's crazy, or the subscriptions.
Yeah, the subscriptions
add up. They kill you.
Add up.
Right? Like just go into if you have an Apple phone, just go under your subscriptions today and you might be like blown away. There's also Rocket Money, which my sister-in-law used, which is awesome to find all these hidden subscriptions and hidden things that you do. So number one, you need to know your numbers. You need to know what's coming in and what's going out. And YNAB I like, and it's something that I've done now for a year, just so I can absolutely know where our numbers lie. And that way you can really do plan ahead, because you have to know what is the overhead for your business, right? So,
and you know what, sweetie, it reminds me of, you know, Shark Tank, the show, when,
oh, yes.
when the entrepreneurs stand in front of the sharks, and when they don't know their numbers, they just it becomes a bloodbath, right? Shark feeding frenzy. How much more just like the importance of us knowing our numbers financially to set us up for success.
Oh my goodness. No, you're so right. We love Shark Tank. Even our kids are like super into it. Um, but that's so true. I mean, I remember getting on a call with my business coach now, Brooke Thomas, and she was like, "All right, sweet. What are your numbers?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know I make this and I've made that. And she's like, "You are awesome. You made millions of dollars and you have no clue your numbers." And I said, "But no, I'm going to figure out," because the Proverbs 31 woman, she knew her numbers. She knew her numbers. And so we started with Diana Murnett, amazing fractional CFO. And we'll put all these people in the show notes, you guys, because they're people we use and love, godly Christian women. So Diana Murnett, then we went over to YNAB, started doing our numbers, then going back to Diana. And I promise you, how much did that make you feel good? Like when we, I'll never forget when we were on that first call with the fractional CFO. And Diana's just like, "Girlfriend."
I loved it because I'm the one who handles like the financials and all the paperwork and spreadsheets. So I knew a good portion. It was great for me so that Allie could see the the importance of her knowing where spending is going.
Totally. You guys, I say money like burns a hole in my pocket. If you need it, I'll give it. Right. And then that's great. And that's good. You know, like Live to Give was my team name. So go figure. But there is a lot of wisdom, and God gives us a lot of wisdom.
And I even call her out on that. I'd be like, don't say that. Don't say money burns a hole in your pocket. That doesn't have
Right.
to be that way. You
Right.
can be smart,
Yep.
financially savvy and use
Yep.
wisdom so that you're doing everything you should be doing as far as saving, investing, giving, all of these things which allow you to have surplus.
Yes.
Again, it's the dichotomy of paycheck to paycheck versus having surplus, having multiple streams of income, having these putting your money to work so your money's making you money to where you're not having to be just a slave to your job and you only make the hours that you're there working super hard and diligently.
Yep. Warren Buffett will say, "Learn how to make money in your sleep, or you will be working the rest of your life." And I have an amazing, amazing, ridiculously smart financial dad. My dad has made very, very, very smart financial decisions and is very, very, very good at investments. So, number one is know your numbers. So, number two, I'm going to throw it back to you because finally, like investments didn't really drive me, you guys. I wanted to be Mother Teresa, save all the orphans of the world. That's why I went to nursing school. Everything, numbers and money, just wasn't really my jam. But my father would constantly be like, "Babe, Allie, here, let me help you, let me help you, let me help you." So finally, one year I was like, "Joshua, sit down with my dad. He's brilliant. He has so much wisdom here." And you did, and tell everyone kind of that piece. So number two, investments.
Yeah, so I grew up, I knew nothing about investing, had no clue. How many of you guys have those experiences where there's a subject that you had no education on, no experience, and you're just completely oblivious to it? And then one day it's like the lights get turned on, you start reading about stuff. Oh, whoa, I was missing this whole piece. That was investing for me. I had no idea about the importance of investing to be able to um, grow your wealth, generate passive income, and really have a vehicle for financial freedom. So in 2017, Allie's dad
Yay, pops.
recommended a book by Jack Bogle, who's the founder of Vanguard, called The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. And it was just really eye-opening about just some basic things you can do that are index funds that are tracking the S&P 500. There's a bunch of different ones. I mean, it's my eyes were just really open to how you can be putting your money to work and investing in companies that it's not. So I feel like so many people have a wrong conception of investing in the stock market and stuff. They're thinking it's like a slot machine or gambling. But no, if you're investing in these big established companies, they have a track record, and you can see that there is a percentage of returns where you could put your money to work investing, and in turn makes you money, and then you have compounding interest over the years. So any of you who investing is new, a great little book is the one by Jack Bogle, founder of Vanguard, and that is The Little Book of Common Sense Investing.
And what I love about you, babe, is like you like took it on, but then you really sought out other wise people too, right? You started with that book, but then you started finding YouTubes and Instagram accounts and people that were just really doing wise decisions.
Yeah, because then
And
you start tracking down, okay, what are some of the best, top 10 books on finances and investing? And you learn from people who have done this, from huge investors like Warren Buffett and other people who have success. Success, I love Ali always says this all the time. Success leaves clues.
yep,
So learning what people are doing. So you have a mechanism, a model for doing things excellent in your finances. And that starts with simple as allocation of your spending. What does that look like? You don't want to be in a deficit each week. You want to be building to a surplus. So what can you cut out and what can you allocate to then that surplus going to investing, which is going to have compounding returns over the years? And savings. I think that was one of the big things I do enjoy about Dave Ramsey. The stuff he says is the emergency fund, because most people don't have any kind of a savings account or emergency fund for the things that are going to happen. It's not an if, it's a when.
yeah,
The car breaking down, and then they don't have it because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So
yep.
there's practical things you can do to have, a little bit of buffer so it's not just absolute stress when these things come. I mean, again, that statistic of 69% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's a lot of financial stress and pressure when these things do come up, because that's life. Things
Especially
come
when you
up
have,
in life.
yeah, especially when you got little kids, right? Little kids are expensive. And we're going to go into number three about the words you speak in a second. But back to like everything's figure outable, right? I had the wrong attitude when my dad was trying to teach me this. I have three brilliant, brilliant brothers that were all investing and super smart. And one's VP of Bank of America, one's, finance major, and now head of commercial real estate. One's owns his own business too. And so I was just like, man, they all got this, but I just kind of counted myself out. Don't do that, wives. Like if numbers make you want to like, do anything but look at them, ask yourself why and say, God, help me to have your wisdom in this area. And then I'm so thankful that Joshua actually enjoys it. Like he really does. And he's really great at it now. But I should have brought that together a long time ago, right? We got married in 2009. We waited till 2017. But the blessing of it, you guys, is that we ended up being able to buy a home in Southern California because we did have enough with investments and what we had done. And that was like a huge win from just having that, I would say, self-control in areas, right? That's a fruit of the spirit. And just being mindful. And Joshua, you kind of putting it in my face a little bit too, because I didn't realize how much money was going out the door all the time. You did because you were looking at it and you had a lot of grace with me. But I wish I just had a little more, I wish I had a different attitude, right? Different
Yeah.
attitude about it.
Yeah. When you see the results of putting your money to work, it really is an eye-opening thing about how you can generate wealth. I mean, again, when we're looking at this stuff and we're navigating, okay, paycheck to paycheck financial pressures, what can you do to make more money? What is the business you can start? What is the side hustle you can do? What are these things that can give you that extra income that can be these streams? I think it's what is the goal? Usually like 5 to 7 streams of income to have additionally to what your regular day job. But what can you do starting for just one? What's that God-given idea that you have that you can run with to generate more capital?
Yeah, we were just actually talking about this in the married group because I had shown that chart of the generation now, 2026. It's like a nosedive of people that are actually going to college because they're realizing it's super expensive. They end out with a bunch of loans and they don't even get an entry job that even touches it. So they end up in school loans forever. And to be honest, we're kind of in that situation from Joshua's PhD. We had a ton of school loans. And this September, baby, we done,
Yeah.
right? September.
Student loans are not your friend.
They are not your
Debt
friend.
is not your
Debt is
friend.
not your friend. That money, imagine if we had been investing the 680 or whatever a month into something, like where we'd be with that. So just be really mindful when we talk about several streams of income. Like, what are you doing now? What are you making your money work for you and doing? And then starting your own business, you guys, like, it's not for the faint of heart, I'll be honest. You know, I'm on my third right now, but it is the biggest blessing to be able to make your own money and be your own boss. And I'm very, very passionate about that. So, you women, you can follow Forest Glory CEO, shameless plug, because I'm going to help you. Because I was a mom, wanted to be home with my daughter, and I knew I could pay myself, be my own boss, and there's so many beautiful ways to do it out there. But just realize your money are like little soldiers. I love that. My friend Rachel Warman said it in her new money mandate book. And they're little soldiers out to do what God's asked you to do. And we want to be mindful and very responsible about it.
Yeah, it's so important. One of our goals is to be disciplined in every area of our life, from
Yes.
what we're putting into our body, how we're
Yes.
fueling our body, how we're moving our body, exercise, fitness, health, all these things, and the importance of having good discipline financially, disciplined with your money.
So good, babe. So, number one, YNAB, Rocket Money. I mean, anything where you actually know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. Step one, that's it, that's all. And you need to meet together. We don't do like some couples get together Sunday nights every week and look over all that. We do it kind of every month, or I'll just like blow you up with some text when I'm going through YNAB. So we're not as diligent as some couples that do it weekly, but at least monthly, taking a look at the profit loss statement, extremely important. Taking a look at if you blew out any of the budget and why. So important. And like, have fun with it. Like, if you like boba tea, that's not healthy, I can't do it anymore. But if you like to go for a walk, like, do it when it's fun. Like, don't make it a date night, obviously, because you want to keep those date nights sacred. You're not talking finances, okay? Do not talk
Yep.
finances on date night.
The
Do not,
no-go zone.
no-go zone. But have it be a little bit fun. And then I think the cool thing is our kids are still little, but I'm excited to bring our kids into those kind of conversations, babe, that they know their numbers. Like, we do talk about if they were given $10, immediately 10% goes to the Lord, right? They know their tithes, they know their offerings. It's been so cool to see our kids just have this generosity of giving too, and that starts young. You never want them to just hold on to money, right? But you also don't want them just to blow all their money either. You want to teach them
Right.
simple steps. And again, there's so many awesome books on this. There's awesome podcasts. Go just, get more information and put something into practice. It will transform your marriage for sure. The paycheck to paycheck thing is probably the most stressful thing you could put on your marriage, especially with kids. And number two, the investing. Like, I'm so thankful for you, babe. Like, you've done so great at it, but you've also helped so many people and so many husbands. And I mean, that's a huge thing too, you guys. If you learn something and it changes your life or it helps you, then you're just a bigger asset to help other people. And I love how you teach it so simply, right? And you've helped me understand it so simply.
Well, I
So,
think planning is just so important. Planning our lives, planning in our marriage, planning in our finances, having goals that you set. Setting these goals allows you to have a destination, a marker, a calibration of the direction you're headed, and it gives you that fulfillment because you know you have established markers that are tracking you along your way. And how are you doing? Constantly checking in. I mean, it applies to your marriage, the goals for your marriage, the goals for your life, your kids, your finances, all of these things. You got to have a plan. And like that one adage is, plan the work and work the plan, because things will come up. But how do you navigate these things? How do you go anywhere without a plan, without
right.
a roadmap?
Yep. So good. And then AAR, attitude, actions, results. What's your attitude about it? My attitude was like, I don't want to do this. My actions were, I'm not going to do it. My results were, we had zero investments. And when we could have been really, really smart, right? And planning so much better. So our last thing here is your words, right? Life and death are in the power of the tongue. I see couples speak doubt and death over their finances all day long. We don't have enough. No, you can't have that. That's too expensive. We'll never be able to do that. We this, we that. I'm not even speaking out because I don't even like the feeling of speaking all this stuff out. What are you speaking out about your finances?
Yeah.
What are you speaking out about the money? It has power. Our kids will never hear, we don't have money for that. Not a day. Oh,
Never.
that's too expensive. No, we are not coming under agreement of a poverty spirit and a poverty mentality. It is so sneaky, and so many Christians have like this false humility of having this poverty mindset or mentality, and it's wrong. You will not find it in the Bible at all. God talks about increasing and multiplication and being blessed and highly favored. And so you have to ask yourself, why have I hooked up with this? What is the reason that I speak lack and I receive this? You have to get to the root of it today. Like today, no delay is the way I love to like coach and help people. Like, let's get to the root of this. Who says this? Maybe you were raised in a house where they said that all day, every day. Like I can feel some of you agreeing with me right now. Like, yep, it's exactly how my parents spoke. Dead broke, right? Some of my favorite stories are those kids that were raised in extreme poverty and decided, no, God's got something better for me. I'm not going to do it the way my parents did it. I'm going to do it the way God said it. And those transformation stories, you can think of a bunch right now, probably when I just said that, those are inspiring. And that can be your story too. Starting today, that can be your story when you change the way you're speaking.
Absolutely. If there's been so much negativity around your finances and stress, let's turn that around today. Let's have it be a positive thing. Let's do our due diligence and trust and believe God and do things on our part of practical applications and implementation of things we discussed today so that your finances can be a positive thing. You can see your money doing what it's supposed to do, you being in charge of your money not being in charge of you.
Come on.
So you can fulfill the purposes that you have been called to so you can have a fun, enjoyable life with your spouse, with your kids, and have a marriage made in heaven.
Come on, babe. And I'll just throw in there, watch out who you surround yourself with, right? When you see people speaking doubt and lack, you'll be the fifth one speaking doubt and lack. When you're around big dreamers and doers who are believing for big things of God, you'll become the fifth person that does that too. So we're so glad that you guys tuned in today.
It's
I
true.
know it was maybe a sensitive one for people, but hey, been there, done that. You need any help in this area, message us. We'd love to help. We'll drop some resources in the show notes like we said as well. But today, no delay. Get a hold of those numbers, get a hold of those finances. Do not let it be a struggle or a hindrance any longer in your marriage that is made in heaven.
We love you all. Be abundantly blessed. All right, that's it for this week. If you laughed, cried, or silently judged us,
Please hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss another episode, and share it with someone who might need that same reminder. You're not alone, and your marriage is worth fighting for.
we're cheering you on, praying for your journey, and grateful to be walking this out together.
See you next week, where we'll keep it real, keep it biblical, and probably overshare again.